MLB Talk, New York's #1 baseball podcast. Now here's your hosts, Chris Pizzaya and Rob Maraska.
And welcome to a new episode of NYMLB Talk with your hosts, Rob and Chris. And if you're on YouTube right now, hit that sub button, hit that like button as well. If you want, give us location where you guys are in the chat right now. Say hello. And if you want, follow us on Twitter/X at NYMLB Talk. Follow us on TikTok as well, NYMLB Talk. Instagram, we're everywhere. Give us a follow. Give Rob a follow at R Maraska. Myself at CP7NY. You can give us all a follow. If you want to get on the show, send us out a message and we'll get back to you and you can be part of the show. And that would be awesome. Rob, Definitely. What's up, man? What's going on?
Hey, Chris, you guys had a better weekend than we did. That's for sure.
A little bit, I'd say. Just a tiny. It's only one game better, but it was better.
Yeah, well, you did play the Atlanta Braves. The shocking Atlanta Braves, because we both thought that the Braves by now were going to, figure out what was going on and fix it. They're not. It looks like they're not going to be in the postseason this year.
Yeah, I'm still in shock, and they're actually probably going to be sellers at the trade deadline. I mean, unless they shock everybody and sell and give it a shot. I don't think they're selling a lot of guys, obviously, because, they have that core. You're not going to get much for some of these guys because they're signed to big contracts. But yeah, they're going to probably look to sell some guys at this point, which is, like you said, it's shocking. I didn't think we'd be at this point, even after they lost. Would they lose their first 8 games in a row to start the season? We were still like, they're going to bounce back. They'll be fine. They got a good team. But I think the starting rotation, the injuries to the rotation has finally caught up to them. I think they've lost 4 out of their 5 guys that they originally started with. And, they just haven't been able to bounce back from that. So, and we could see the Dodgers. The Dodgers are starting to crack a little bit here in the middle of July, right? I mean, right. Injuries and age catch up to every team, and we see it now. So
yeah, listen, Kershaw went nuts in the dugout, right? He's throwing his glove around. He was going nuts. So it's getting to him. It's getting to the Dodgers, and You know what? I love it.
Oh, the Mets back on track. Well, let's ask Rob. Rob, how'd the weekend go? What happened here? They lost 2 out of 3 to the Reds.
Listen, we had Dr. Jurger, my dog's vet, on Friday. Big Cincinnati Reds fan. He's probably happy. I'm not too happy because the Mets and Jonathan, you know it too. I mean, they're still not hitting with runners in scoring position. Friday night, let's get the Friday night's game first, okay? Since Jonathan brought this up. The Mets lose 8-4. Minaya gave up 1 earned run in 4 innings. They took him out. They're still, they're going to be very careful. They're going for the long game. So they took him out. The bullpen imploded once again. But the Mets had the bases loaded in the 9th inning, okay? They could have tied the game. Lindor pops out. Lindor has had a terrible series. He's been terrible since before the All-Star game. And Friday that was a bad loss because they could have came back. It showed, it did show me, all right, they fought back, but they didn't win. What happens on Saturday? The same thing happens on Saturday. Saturday was David Wright Day. He entered the Mets Hall of Fame. And they retired his number 5 the same day. Usually that doesn't happen. It was packed. Citi Field was such an atmosphere. It was great.
We painted the numbers, right? We mentioned it on the last show.
And you knew that Cohen was going to repaint the numbers. Yeah. He wasn't going to let that go. But David Wright's family was there, teammates, friends. It was a great ceremony. And one thing that was great, it's not great that he retired young because of the injuries, but it was great that his parents were able to be there for this. So that was one great thing. So the day is going great. And what happens? The Mets blow it again. It's just they're not hitting. They weren't hitting. They once again in the ninth inning they had the chance to tie the game, and what happens? Soto almost hits a home run. We thought it was out, but it was foul. The Mets want to go. They challenge it, which was just a waste of time because you knew it was foul. It wasn't that close. You challenge it, but they wanted to get to the Reds closer, so that's what they did. And then Alonso. So then he strikes out. Then Alonso makes the final out, and the Mets don't tie it up. So that's two days in a row that the Mets at least could have tied the game or possibly won it in the ninth inning. They didn't. Sunday they did a little better. They win 3-2. Not a lot of hitting, but Peterson pitched really, really good again. So he kept them in there. The bullpen was all right, and they won 3-2. But still, not the weekend I wanted them to have. One good thing this weekend, though, Brooks Raley came back. He pitched great. He struck 2 out, so he looks like he's good to go, which, they don't. That's one reliever they don't have to worry about, getting a spot for, because he looks like he's going to be all right. He looks like he's recovered pretty well, and the Mets should have at least taken 2 out of 3. I said that on Friday. Now the Angels come into town. The Angels, believe it or not, Chris, are still in the wild card run, right? Yeah. So we don't know if they're going to be buyers or sellers.
Yeah, I mean, they're still in it, man. They're only 4 games behind the final wild card spot, who right now is Boston, right, in the American League. So I don't think they're going to sell right now. I think they're going to give it another week at least to see how this team goes. So listen, you guys, right now, you're in a position to almost put the nail in the coffin for the Angels series. If you guys could sweep them, it might force, or it might make the Angels think, all right, you know what, we're done. Our series, our season's over. We're going to be down 7 games, 8 games by the end of this week. You know what? Maybe we're done. So the Mets could actually push them over the edge here, or they could go the other way around. You know what I mean? If the Angels win this series, they're going to say, hey, let's go for it. We're still in it. We're only 3-4 games behind for a wild card spot. So it's going to be so the Angels are coming in to win, right? They're not. Yeah. Nobody's mailing this series in, so it's going to be a tough series.
No, well, we have Senga going tonight. Okay, so I'm happy about that. Hopefully they win tonight. But guess who's going tomorrow? Tomorrow? Frankie Montas, baby. Now,
but he's been okay, right?
Yeah, he's been okay. But you know how it goes with him. He pitched really good his last outing, but tomorrow could be a different story. He goes up and down, up and down. But so far, he's doing way better than we thought he was going to be. Let's face it. So, that's the wild card game. I don't know. I don't know which Frankie Montas we are going to get. And then on Wednesday, they have Manaea pitching. So hopefully the Mets take 2 out of 3. But Alvarez is coming back, and he hit great in the minors. Hopefully he keeps it up, because Torrens is just looks tired, and he's been the guy's been getting hit in the head the past week. I don't know how many times. He got hit in the head and the face by balls. He got hit by bats. The poor guy just, he looks like a walking concussion right now. Yeah. So the guy he's not an everyday catcher. We know that. Well,
and I think that's what happens with a lot of these backup catchers that, they start hitting well and everything else, and you think, oh, he could be a starter. This guy could be a starter. But once they get into that starting, they start getting more games. You know what? Like you said, they're starting to get tired. Yeah, he's getting hit in the head. Maybe he is a walk. Maybe he does have a concussion and he's hiding it from them. You don't know. But I think at this point, bring up Alvarez, see what he could do offensively. If he could give you, what he's been doing in AAA, if he could bring that bat back, in the majors, I mean, that would be such a huge, jolt for this offense. Like you said, that's been kind of struggling a little bit lately.
Yeah, listen, Lindor, the Mets need Lindor to start hitting. If eventually he's going to be named captain, he's the guy, he's the go-to guy, which he is in the clubhouse, which he is with the press. You give him that credit, but he ignites the Mets, right?
Yep.
Lindor, the Mets go as far as Lindor goes. When he's hitting it falls into place and it looks good. Right now, they're not hitting like they should be hitting, and now is not the time to get into a really, really long slump. So they have to figure this out.
Let me ask him, does his slump go all the way back to when he hurt his toe, or has he been?
Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of does. I don't know if that has anything to do with it now, but that's about the time. And Jonathan's right. He's been bad since the broken toe.
That's a long time. That's over a month.
That's before the Yankee series. That's before the Subway Series. So Jonathan.
Before the Rocky series, we said he should have.
Yes,
that was the thing. He should have sat that whole Rocky series. You guys are going to beat the Rockies anyway. I didn't understand that, but
yeah, and you said that. You said that on the show a couple of times.
Yeah.
Mookie. That's right. Mookie Betts too.
And you know what? Look at his numbers too. He's struggling too, right? He's not having a good year. If you go and look at his numbers, I'll bring it up in a second here, but he's not doing good either.
Sometimes you got to just sit it out and let it heal. I mean, you have these guys. Do you have the stats up? You got them ready, Chris?
Yeah, right now.
Okay.
I could put it up here. It's not good.
Yeah, because sometimes you just got to sit it out. Okay, so let's see. Yeah.
Right now, he's hitting 240.
Yeah.
240 with a 310 on base, 374 slugs. So his OPS is only at 684. This would be his worst season of his whole career right now. That's how bad he's going. He does have 11 home runs, driven in 45 so far, but this is not Mookie Betts that we know, right? His WAR is 2.2, so he's on. Maybe he'll get 4 by the end of the year, which would be his lowest number since the COVID year, which is 3.7. But I mean, this is not good. He's not having a good year. So it's the toe. If it's the toe, it might not be the toe. It might be. Listen, and here's the other thing. If it's not the toe, and this is like the beginning of his regression, because he is 32. If this is the beginning of his regression, he's still got like 6-7 years left on his deal. So this is not a good sign for the Dodgers.
No, listen, Chris, that's what happens with these contracts. This is just with these contracts. This is just going to keep happening towards the end of the contract. A lot of them are going to be just bad contracts. But this is the way the game is now. And if you want them now, when they're in their prime, you got to sign them to long-term contracts. So Mookie Betts and Lindor, both broken toes. Maybe they should have rested more. Like I was about to say, sometimes some guys are out for, a stub toe or whatever, and they don't want to play. Then you have guys like Betts and like Lindor who they are forced. They forced the manager to put him in the lineup. He forced. He did not. Lindor did not want to sit down, so he sort of forced Mendy into letting him play.
Yeah.
And hello, Maria.
Hello, Maria. And you know what? The Mets got a big series, man. I think this is a big series for them because right after this, then they go on the West Coast, right? I think they play San Diego and then San Fran.
They play San Francisco, then San Diego.
Okay, so that's back to back. That's going to be really tough. And then they come home to play San Francisco.
So San Francisco, San Diego, then come home to play San Francisco. Yes, you know how the West Coast trips, luckily they're not going to play the Dodgers too, because you know how the West Coast trips go. It could make or break. It could really make or break them at that point.
This is a tough stretch right after the Angels, San Diego come home to play San Fran, and then they got Cleveland, who that's another team that's kind of on the border right now of selling or buying. It looks like they might sell. And then they go to Milwaukee, who that's probably the hottest team in baseball, right? They've won 10 straight, and they just swept the Dodgers in LA.
That's what caused Crenshaw to go nuts, man.
Yeah.
They got swept by the Brewers. So, yeah, the Mets are coming up with a tough stretch, and hopefully they get it together before, they had the great April and May, and then since June, they have the worst record, I think, in baseball. So it's the opposite of last year when they started off bad and then they had the great June and July, and they just kept going. So this is an important series. You definitely,
absolutely,
definitely is.
These are these are the games you got to win, right? When you're at home playing against, let's be honest, the Mets should be a better team than the Angels. The Angels are playing much better, but the Mets should be the better team here, and they should take 2 out of 3.
Yeah, and Jonathan's right. We did beat the Brewers 2 out of 3, so that was good. And we know what happened in the postseason last year.
And that was at City, right? That was at City Field. Now that
that was at City Field, yes, when they won. So
right, this series coming up would be in Milwaukee.
Yes. But that's all right. We know what happened in Milwaukee in the postseason last year. Yes. So it's all right. But anyway, okay, so there goes the Mets. Let's talk about the Yankees weekend against the Braves, Chris.
Yeah, listen, they lost the first game. What was it, 7-3? It was it was an opener type. It was an opener game that had Ian Hamilton starting, which was I didn't understand it. When you got the not veteran, but the guy that they picked up in the offseason, Alan Wyans, in the minors in AAA, he's actually been throwing well. Why not bring him up for the start? Because they brought him up anyway the next day when they released Garcia, who was picked up by the Mets. So anyway, that's
who the Yankees picked him up from. So
the Mets, right? So
Mets, Yankees, Mets. Okay.
Hey, at least he didn't have to move, right? He could stay in New York. It's great. Good for him.
Right.
But yeah, you know what? They lost the first game. It was 7-3. They were down 5-0 early. They actually came back a little bit, but then they gave up a couple of runs late. The bullpen once again, not getting it done. So then we go into Saturday, which, listen, Saturday right now we could pencil in as the win, absolutely their best win of the season, and could be that game where it turns the season around, kind of. We mentioned that one a couple of weeks ago with the Bellinger against you guys, right? The last game, it was great. So this one, I think, is the better win than that game too, because they had to come back in this one, being down early. Will Warren gave up a couple of runs early, and then they came back and won at 12-9. Volpe, a couple of home runs, a hit. He had 3 hits in the game. Hopefully he's breaking out of it. Even the third game, he was hitting the ball hard. So it looks like he's breaking out of his slump, but he's always been a streaky hitter. I just want to see him better in the field as well. When we see him stronger in the field like he was in his rookie year, I'll feel a lot better about him. But yeah, coming back, winning at 12-9. And Devin, to me, Williams is starting to settle in as the closer, which is a good thing. We'll see what he could do in the playoffs, because we know you just mentioned what you guys did in the playoffs against the Brewers. But listen, I think this is what we have right now, is Williams is going to be the closer. Right? I don't know if they're going to pick up, we mentioned, people have been mentioned Clase from Cleveland. I don't think that's happening. We're not picking up a closer. If we pick up anybody, it's going to be like a setup, middle bullpen type of guy. I don't think it's going to be any type of major closer that we're going to be picking up. So, but anyway, that was probably their best win of the season, on the road, no less, which was great comeback win. And then Sunday, probably the more surprising win, because Stroman was pitching. I wasn't expecting Stroman to pitch well, but he pitched good. 6 innings, I think 1 run. I mean, you can't ask for anything else from this guy, right? I mean, he's been really good since coming back from the IL. But with Montas, it's the same thing with Stroman. You just don't know, right? I mean, he's been pitching good, but you don't know when the wheels are going to start to fall off the wagon, and then we know what happens then. So, but I'll take it. He pitched great. Judge, home run, led us to the victory, 4-2. Williams comes in, save. So we closed out both games. Game 2 wasn't a save situation, but he did give up a run there. But anyway, so taking 2 out of 3 in Atlanta is a good way to start. And again, right, Rob? I always say this: if you're gonna win games in a series, it's better to win at the end, right? Like you won the last game of the series, you only won one game, but it feels a lot better winning that last game than winning the first game and then losing the next two, right? At least
it does.
Right. You got that good feeling going into the next series. Same thing with the Yankees. They lost the first game. It was like, oh, here we go. Oh, right out of the All-Star break, they come out, they have an opener, boom, they lose right away, right? And you're like, ugh, now there's no way we're taking 2 out of 3 because Stroman is pitching the third game. There's no way we're going to take 2 out of 3. But you know what? They battled back and they won those last 2 games, especially the middle game. You get a whole different feeling. So I love that the Yankees went that they took 2 out of 3, which was great. So now starts, and I'll say it this way, even for your team, for every team, once the All-Star break is over, right? Now there's no more like what we say early in the season. It's only April, it's only May, it's only June, right? You can't, you don't say that anymore. Can't say it's only August or only late July. Now these games, every game starts to count, right? Now you could start saying that. You can't, you're not saying, it's only April, we'll be fine. Get into a 4 games losing streak now. It's like, right? So it's a totally different feeling second half of the year, right? And every sport, right? NBA, NHL, after the All-Star break, it's like everything starts to crank up a little bit, right? Everything starts to heat up. Every game is something now. So, and for the Yankees to play for the division now, they got Toronto, who's obviously in first place. They're 3 games behind. Now we got 3 games back in Toronto. We don't want to do what we did the last time we played Toronto up there, right? So they got to win this series. This is a must-win series for the Yankees, I think. You can't go up there and get swept.
Yeah. If the Yankees sweep Toronto, they'll leave tied. They'll be tied for first. So that's, and they could take it from there. They could pick up from there. But yeah, you don't want a series like last time what Toronto did to the Yankees.
Yeah, it just cannot happen for the Yankees right now. They're going to have Rodon is going to be in the series opener. Fried's going to be on Wednesday. I'm sorry. Schlittler is going to be tomorrow on Tuesday, and then Fried will start on Wednesday. So that's a good thing. We got two of our 2 best starters, and then the kid who pitched really good in his first game. He looked really good, so it's good to see him back in there. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a different series. I don't think they're getting swept. If they get swept, they'll be down 6 games. Not saying they're going to be out of it, but you know what? To lose that again to Toronto, it's almost going to be like Toronto's got our number at that point, losing that many games in a row against this team. So I'm looking forward to this series. I think it'll be a different result for sure. I don't see us getting swept.
Think so.
And I think, you know what, taking 2 out of 3 against Toronto, I could see that happening with the way they're playing. So we'll see. But again, looking ahead with the Yankees, after Toronto, they got some tough games coming up, right? After Toronto, they come home to play the Phillies over the weekend. That's a tough series. Then they got Tampa for 4 games, okay? And then at Miami, at Texas. So, okay. But the next few series is going to be huge. These next, 3, 6, 4, 10 games, these next 10 games, they got to go 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10 at the worst. Because now the standings are close. Like I said, you're running out of games now. Right now, you're in the second half. You're already in the second half of the series, second half of the season, excuse me. So all these games start to count. So now it's like I said, you can't use that excuse anymore. Like, it's only April. It's late July. Trade deadline's coming. Like, this is what our team is. This is what your team is, right? Obviously, we're going to make some additions before the All-Star break. What are they going to be? Like, what do you think right now, your gut feeling, because we heard Stern say they're only going to make minor moves, right? Yeah. Kind of heard that. What is your gut feeling right now tell you? Where do you think the Mets are going to go before the trade deadline?
I think Stearns, he said it himself, unless Cohen steps in and says, you know what, I want to win the World Series. I gave that time. Remember, when he bought the Mets, he gave that time, the Mets, I want the Mets to win the World Series within 5 years. So, look where it is now. So unless he says something, I think Stearns is going to do what he's been doing and make some moves to tweak. Okay, the pitching staff, bullpen, because now, people have come back. So I guess he feels the starting rotation is pretty good. They're babying it a little bit, so we'll see what happens. I hope that they do get a starting pitcher, and at least a bullpen, one bullpen arm at least. I mean, Brooks Raley coming back is one already. And I agree with Jonathan, a center fielder. And I've been saying, and you've been saying too, Mullins from the Orioles would be a great fit for the Mets. So that's what I'm hoping for. But I don't see any big blockbusters. I think Mullins may be the biggest move that they make. But now we're hearing, that Baltimore, the owner of the Orioles, feels that the Orioles are going to be good next season and that he's not going to dismantle the team. So we don't know what they're going to do.
Right. Yeah, no, I think they're not that they're on the bubble, but they're in that, they're kind of like Arizona. Like Arizona doesn't want to sell everybody off and then they have nothing for next season. You know what I mean? They still want to compete. So a lot of these teams, they don't want to rebuild, right? Like the Orioles have a good young core. So they don't want to just give it up and say, all right, we got to start over. No. They might sell guys, they might trade. I could see them trading Mullen or Hearn because they're going to be free agents after this year. So unless they say, all right, we're going to sign these guys before they hit free agency. But if you have no plans on, signing them to, extensions, then I think you got to do the right thing and trade them and get something for them, because otherwise you get nothing, right? You get a draft pick or whatever it is if they go on to another team. So, but I think Baltimore makes some moves. I don't know. Yeah. It's going to be nothing major, like you said. I don't see
Bautista going. Do you?
No, I think that would be crazy. He's still young. Too. You need a closer. We know how important a closer is, right? I mean, we both we wouldn't have won any games. The Yankees wouldn't have won as many World Series without Rivera. It's as simple as that. I don't care who else we had, but the closer role is so important, especially in this day and age. The closer role is so huge. You guys got Diaz, obviously. So, So I think I don't think Bautista is going to go. To me, it's kind of like with the A's, right? The A's have told teams we're not trading Miller, their young closer. But you know what? I'm sure if somebody offered them some crazy, Juan Soto type package where you get 4 top prospects for him, I'm sure the A's would do it. But they put it out there like, no, we're not going to trade. Don't even bother calling us. So that's saying don't bother calling us unless you're extremely serious about trading for him, right? We're not taking, one guy or 2 guys. We're taking 4 of your top prospects. You know what I mean? That's what that's telling you.
And Chris, the Mets, the Mets have players who are ready now that they could make deals with. They really do.
Yeah.
We know Acuna, Beatty, Mauricio. We don't know who they're going to keep or who, if anybody's going to go in a deal. I really don't know what he's going to do yet, but I would love to see them make a deal with Baltimore. We'll have to see what happens, though.
Yeah, no, exactly. And listen, I think they have to be somewhat aggressive too, because they made the NLCS last year. To me, anything less than that this year would be a failure for the Mets.
Agreed.
That's to me. I mean, you signed Soto. You didn't sign Soto to be like, oh, all right, let's make the playoffs. That'll be a good thing. No. You're in it now. Now you're the World Series is now your objective now. Forget about this Met team, that's tough Met, underdog Met team. No, you got one of the highest payrolls in baseball right next to the Dodgers. This is not a team that has to make just make the playoffs. I think they got to get at least back to the NLCS, right? To me, that's what they have to do. If not, Mendoza's got to be on the hot seat.
Chris, they have to get to the World Series.
Right.
You know, and I don't know what's going on with we don't know what's going on with the Dodgers, but the goal is his goal, and to spend all that money on Soto is to make it to the World Series, and that's it. So they got to make some moves. I don't know if it's going to be tweaking, whatever it is, they have to do something, and they got to wake this lineup up. They have got to start hitting with runners in scoring position. It's ridiculous how many times I'm watching guys standing on third with the bases loaded. I mean, come on. You gotta, sometimes it's just a set. You need to sacrifice fly and you're leaving bases loaded with one out. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, listen, that happens a lot with the Yankees. And, going into their deadline, I kind of the same thing what you guys are doing, other than center fielder, we need third base instead of center field.
Yeah.
Our outfield is pretty much set. We need a third baseman and we need arms, right? Whether it's a couple of arms for the bullpen, even with Fernando Cruz coming back eventually, Ryan Yarborough's coming back, and you got Mark Leiter Jr. returning. So those are three big arms that we had that were pitching well in the first half. But I think I still think they got to add more to the bullpen just to strengthen it. We know how important the bullpen is. And to me, like, when you go into the playoffs, like, you could get away with three really good starters, right? And have that fourth game as an opener if you have to, right? If it comes to that. So I think if you have three good starters, I think you're good. And the Yankees have, they got Fried and they got Rodon, 1 and 2. The 3 could be Luis Gil. He's coming back. He's already got 2 rehab starts under him. I think he threw 57 pitches in that second game. So he's already up to 57. So I think he's got 2, maybe 3 more starts at most in the minors until he's going to be brought up, right? So you're going to see him definitely by the end of August, probably the middle of August, I think, is going to be about. It's really going to come down to, do they want to stretch him out totally down in AAA, or do they want to bring him up when he could throw 70, 75 pitches? Then they bring him up and stretch him out the rest here. I would take my time with him, and I would keep him down there, maybe an extra start if they have to. But it's good to know that you got him coming back, like I said, and Yarborough, Leiter Jr., and Cruz. That is really good. And maybe that's what the Yankees are thinking. Like, hey, those are going to be our additions, our trades at the deadline. We've heard that before. I hope not. So we'll see. But third base, the rumors, of course, a big one that came out earlier was Suarez, Kelly, and Meeks, whatever his name is, the relief pitcher for Arizona, for about 5 prospects from our side, including that Schlittler kid that's going to start Tuesday for us. I don't know. Let's see what happens, because all those guys that we're getting back from Arizona are all rentals. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Yeah. So you're going to lose all 3, right? And to me, like, listen, if we got Suarez, I'm not upset. Trust me. I'm not saying don't get him. But Suarez also very streaky. Right now, he's on a great hot streak, obviously. But again, we do have to look at it this way with Suarez. Suarez, when you look at his numbers, now he's hitting in Arizona, right? Hit his ballpark. Right. It's like the second or third best hit his ballpark in the league. When he was with Seattle for like 2 years, he didn't hit over 30 home runs, right? And that's obviously one of the worst ones. I don't know if getting him is really, like, oh, we have to do whatever we have to do to get him. Like, I'm okay with Ryan McMahon from Colorado. I've been mentioning him for like 3 years, this guy, that I would not mind getting him. He would be okay. He's a left-handed bat. We know left-handed bats in Yankee Stadium, great fit. He's a much better glove than Suarez. Suarez is probably average at best with the glove at third. So he's another option. And then the other question the other rumor was Pittsburgh, the Ke'Bryan Hayes, who's not the best offensive option, but he's a great glove. Plus Mitch Keller, their starter, who's not bad, middle of the rotation guy. And also Bednar, the closer, which would not be bad either. Yep. So, no. But we're going to hear rumors, right? We're going to hear rumors until the trade deadline, right? So
yeah,
that's all they are right now, are rumors. So we'll see what happens. But I think we're kind of in the same boat. We need arms, and we need a position player. You need center field. I need a third baseman. Do you guys think? All right, let's say this week comes up and Alvarez doesn't produce offensively. Do you think the Mets go out and get another catcher?
Nah, I don't. No, I don't. I don't think so. I don't think that's enough time. They're not going to do. They're not going to do something that drastic. They'll just go with turns. They're not. Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen. But real quick, Jonathan said he heard Keller for Rice. Did you hear that, Chris?
Listen, yeah, I've heard some rumors. I mean, that's probably just a rumor that's being thrown out there. If that happens, I don't know. I like Ben Rice a lot. Yeah. He could be our future first baseman. So that's how I look at him, or backup catcher, that type of player who could play both positions. I'd hate to lose him, but yeah, Alvarez or bust. Yeah. I mean, that's what a lot of Yankee fans are saying now. I don't look at it that way. I can't look at Alvarez or bust. I mean, there's other options. If we ended up with Ryan McMahon at third base, that would not be the worst thing for me. I'd rather have a right-handed bat for sure. So yeah, Alvarez is probably the number one option, but McMahon would not be a bad option for me. Well, thankfully we got one that only plays DH, and that's Stanton. That's the one that kills us, because Ben Rice could at least play first. He could also catch, right? So it's not bad with Ben Rice. The problem is Stanton, right? But Stanton's hitting, so right now we don't mind, and we know what he does in the playoffs. So
yeah, and that's what you listen. What he does in the playoffs, that's really what you care about. As long as he does what he does in the play.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, I think both our GMs are kind of on the hot seat, right? Because the Yankees are always World Series or bust, right? And they made the World Series last year. You guys made the NLCS, so if you don't at least reach that point, it's a failure to me. You got to at least get back to the NLCS. If you get back to the NLCS and lose to LA or whoever, all right, you know what? Okay, we need that. Maybe next year we'll get that one batter we need, the center field or whatever you're going to get, right? So, but I think both GMs are on the hot seat that they got to make big moves. And I think these moves are going to push us past where we need, or it's going to push us further down, one way or the other.
You're right. And we're going to know more after the next couple of series. Some teams are starting to make little moves now. What do you think about the Phillies picking up ex-Yankee and Met David Robertson?
It's to me, it's kind of a desperation move at this point, especially for the Phillies, because their bullpen is a complete mess right now. So, yeah, more or less, Yankees and Mets are buying the same players. I agree. Yeah, to a certain extent, right? Just the one position player is different. We're going for third base. You guys are playing. You're looking more for a center fielder. I think it's going to be interesting. And I think Robinson, that was a little bit of because think about it. The guy has not pitched all year, right? So you bring him in, you send him, he was sent down to AAA. Like, when is he going to be ready? Like, how many appearances does he need to be like game ready, where you're going to use him? Because you're not bringing him up to be, a fifth, sixth inning guy. This guy's going to be a late inning, reliever. I don't know if he's going to be the closer, but he's going to be, from the seventh inning on for sure. So, I don't know.
They're paying Chris, what they're paying him, right? We talked about this before we got on. He's getting that prorated $16 million contract, which comes out to $5 or $6 million.
And that's a lot of money. So they're going to expect a lot from this guy. It's not going to be just, just eat some innings at the, in the ball. No, this is going to be, he's going to be getting big time outs, and he hasn't thrown he hasn't pitched in a game all season. So I just don't know what to expect out of him. He was really good last year, and I was surprised nobody signed him. And
I was too.
Money, he probably wanted, I think he wanted at least $10 million. Obviously he wanted probably $15 million to sign in the offseason. I'm just surprised nobody signed him for a 1-year deal, because he's been a consistent, solid reliever just about his whole career. So $6 million for 20 innings. You're right. That's basically it.
I'll take it.
Right. And think about it. You'll take it. Think about how bad the Phillies bullpen is. Think about how bad they are. They need him more than probably either one of our teams need him. So it'll be interesting. I just don't know what to expect, because the guy hasn't pitched all year.
Yeah, it's It sounds like it's a risky move, a desperate move for the Phillies, but I guess it's a move that they have to make. You know what? Watch them pitch against the Mets.
Well, here's let's take a look for a second.
Okay.
For the standings here. This is the wild card because this is important. Let's look at the National League. Right now, the Phillies are leading, but right now the wild card, you got Milwaukee's up on you guys by 4 games in the loss column. And then you're a game and a half in front of San Diego. And then San Diego's got a 2.5 lead over Cincinnati. But you got a lot of teams that are still in it. Even we're talking about Arizona selling 2-3 players, and they're only 4.5 games out of the last wild card spot. Yeah,
you got St. Louis right there too, San Francisco. Yeah. The Reds, the Reds are right there. This is why we don't know who's going to be sellers and who's going to be buyers, basically. I mean, okay, Atlanta and Miami, they're going to be sellers, but look at that. It's crowded. It's definitely a crowded field. So anything could happen.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't know if Suarez is going to be traded, because if Arizona has a really good week this week and cuts into that lead and maybe gets it down to 2 games, how do they sell? How do they sell, two of their best players? How do you sell that to the fans? Forget about selling your players, but how do you sell that to the fans? That bought tickets already that are like, oh, you know what? We got a shot at the playoffs. And then they're going to, start selling at the deadline. I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. You can't do that. You're going to piss off your fan base. Definitely. You're right. They bought tickets. Right now they have a chance, and then they're going to sell. And listen, that's happened to a lot of different teams. That's happened, and it pisses the fans off. It's like you give up, and that's not good.
And then we look at the American League wild card, where you got the Yankees leading it by 2 games over Seattle and Boston. But look how tight it is down to all the way Kansas City. Kansas City's only 5.5 out, right? And you got Minnesota in there, Cleveland, Angels, Texas, Tampa, all within fighting range for this final wild card spot. So I think a lot of it's going to be determined. We said it already, but I think a lot's going to be determined this week on who's going to sell and who's not going to sell.
Yeah, I listen. I agree with you. This is going to be important 2 weeks, I just want to answer Jonathan. Yeah, Arizona. You're right. In 2024, they had the same record after the All-Star break, and they finished 16 games over 500. So they're still in it. Those teams that are close, there's a lot of teams still in it. And Chris, that's what makes this it's so, it's such a great time of year, exciting, because a lot of teams are in it. So people feel good about their team, and they don't want to see a team just giving up when they're so close.
Yeah, exactly. Because you got to still sell. Listen, we always say it. Sports is always a business first, right? So you still want to sell tickets at the end of the day. So how do you sell off when you're that close for a playoff spot? How do you sell that to your fans? It doesn't make sense. Like Cleveland, 4.5 games out. And Cleveland can run off a bunch of wins, because that's the type of team that they are, right? We've seen it.
Right.
We've seen it happen. And in that division, other than Detroit, there's no really strong team, so they could make a run. So that's why it's going to be, this is a really weird, because everybody's kind of waiting on each other. These teams in the middle, they're kind of waiting until someone, kind of like, all right, we're done. We're going to put the white flag up. We've lost enough games, but it's going to be interesting. And I'm looking forward to this next week or two, because it's going to determine what a lot of these teams do, because they're kind of on the fence right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. I can't wait. And look at Kansas City. They're bringing Rich Hill back. Unbelievable.
Right. I mean, a guy's 45 years old. 45. You're going to tell me there wasn't a better option than a 45-year-old guy? Right?
Yeah, I got some background happening out here. But yeah, you're right.
45 years old. I mean, listen,
14th team. This is his 14th team.
Wow.
I mean, he
So
played
he's
for the
played
Mets
for half
and the
the league.
Yankees. Yeah, he really did. So, it's cool though, at that age to see him come back, and who knows how effective he's going to be. But Kansas City still has a shot. It's going to be so interesting that I just can't wait for these games. But like you said, the Yankees, they have Toronto. If they sweep Toronto, they'll be tied for first, just like that.
Yeah,
back
exactly.
in first.
It's all in front of them, as Boone would always say when he starts some of his rants. It's all in front of us. So it's all in front of the Yankees. They got their chance, right? They got Toronto again. Toronto embarrassed them the last time. Now the Yankees got a chance to a little bit of revenge here, and like you said, get back into first place. So okay,
yeah.
All right,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Since we got we talked about what we might see at the trade deadline, because right now we're still kind of unsure. But I'm going to ask you, like right now, I know we had our predictions before the season, but now we got to halfway. Who do you think right now is going to be in the World Series?
It's now. I'm going to tell you, with the Dodgers playing like the Dodgers are playing, I don't know. That's tough. I think, and you're not going to like this, I think in the American League it might be the Tigers. I'm still sticking with that, but okay. And listen, you don't want to see it, but I would love to see a Subway Series. You do not want to see a Subway Series, right?
No, I want to see the Yankees in the World Series. I just don't want to see Yankees and Mets World Series.
Okay. So I'm going to, it's so close. I think that Milwaukee may have a chance, but I'm going to go with, the Mets against Detroit. Yes, I'm going to be a homer, and I'm going to say Mets against Detroit.
All right, so if you don't think the Mets. All right, who do you think the Mets are going to beat in the NLCS? Just in case if they don't.
I think that they're gonna beat the Brewers. I think Los Angeles, unless they get their stuff together, I think they're imploding right now. But you never know. You never know. It could be the Dodgers again. It could be Dodgers Yankees again. What are you calling?
So much talent that if
I know.
And you know what? Even if age is creeping up on some of these guys, like Freddie Freeman got hurt yesterday, right? He got hit in the wrist, I think.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going to happen? But with this team and what they did last year, right? They've already won the World Series. They've been through it. So I could see them making a run in the second half, no matter what happened. No matter what's happening right now, right? I can see.
Me too.
So, but
give me yours.
Okay. I'm going to say in the National League, I'll still say the Cubs right now.
Oh, yeah, the Cubs too. Okay. I don't know.
I kind of like the Cubs. American League, I would only pick the Yankees if they made major moves at the deadline. They need it. I think they need bigger moves here at the deadline to get back in there. So instead of I won't be a homer. So instead of New York, I'll go with you. I'll agree with you. I'll say Detroit. So I'll say Detroit, Chicago in the World Series. Okay.
Well, it could be Chicago too. It could be the Brewers. And of course, you can't count the Dodgers out or even the Mets out. But, and you can't count the Yankees out either. I mean,
the team, I kind of mentioned them last week. I mentioned Boston because they were on a hot streak. Yeah. But then, of course, they come out and they lose 2 out of 3. But I seen something where I wrote it down. They haven't had a winning second half record since 2018. So in the last 7 years, they have not had a winning record in the second half. Like our last show, the Reds fan, right, Jurga was telling us that the Reds, along with Terry Francona has always been a better second half manager, right? So like they're the complete opposite. So I really liked Boston, but then I'm thinking if they don't have a good record the last 7 years, you know what? Maybe they're going to collapse in the second half. And another team that I wanted to point out too was the Rays. The Rays have the out of their next 38 games, 29 of them are going to be on the road.
Wow. Well, yeah, that's tough.
That might make or break their season.
Yeah, that might make or break their season. And does Major League Baseball want to see the Rays get in the postseason with the
Probably not.
stadium stuff?
I would think no.
Yeah, I would think no. It's they can't. They would have to move it no matter what they said. I know we read last week that they're going to play, in Steinbrenner Field. They're gonna, if they make the postseason, but that there's not enough seats. It's not enough revenue.
Right.
So I don't know about that. But yeah, they have a good chance.
The A's are definitely out, so they don't have to worry about the A's.
No, they don't have to worry about the A's. Yeah, we don't. And Jonathan says Mets lineup has been published. Alvarez is starting today. All right, that's good. Let's see if he can continue to hit like he did in AAA. Let's see what happens. Maybe that woke him up. It's happened before. And before we get off of Boston, I just want to let everybody know that Chris and myself will be Thursday night. We will be guests on the Pesky podcast. Okay, that's a podcast out of Boston, and we're going to talk the trade deadline. I think we're going to talk the National League trade deadline, though. So that's going to be Thursday night. I think it's at 7. I'm not sure. You could check YouTube for that, but we did their show about a month and a half ago, and we had a pretty good time. So
and we'll post it on Twitter, X, whatever.
Yeah.
For anybody to join.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know. It's a good, they have a good show, so you should check it out, and we're gonna have fun with them again. Yeah, but Chris, another thing I wanted to bring up: the Yankees are bringing back the Old Timers Day game, right?
Yeah. I'm really excited about it. And they're bringing back the game. It hasn't been for 5 years now, 6 years that they haven't done it. I think originally, at least what was reported, that Jeter had made an issue about not wanting to come back because he's like, I don't want to play. We're all old. We shouldn't be out there playing. He made a big stink about it. So that's why when he came back, they did they honored one of the World Series teams and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. Listen, if the players want to do it, then bring them back. Obviously, if you call up players and say, hey, you guys want to come back for Old Timers Day, and they all say no, then don't come, right? But if only one person is saying not to do it, if Jeter's the only one saying that he doesn't want to do it, then you know what? Say, okay, thanks, but don't come. Well, I don't know what to say,
Yeah, and it's celebrating the 2000 World Series champions. Boo. But yeah, Jeter. I don't know why Jeter. All right, you don't want to play, so just go to Yankee Stadium. Let the fans see you. Don't play. The Mets did it a couple of years ago, and it was a big success when they brought back Old Timers. They're doing it again. So come on, Jeter, really? I don't get that.
Can't he just grab a glove and play second or something, or go in the outfield? Come on, do you have to be that stubborn? Just get out there and play.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like he's 80 years old. I'm sure. I'm sure he could hit a baseball still. Come on. I mean, I know. Look at him.
It's really stupid. What does he think? He's going to embarrass himself? Do you see some of these guys when they play, one of these older guys play? I mean, come on.
They're laughing.
It's for the fans. That's what I don't understand. We're all going to still love Jeter no matter what, but come on. To me, this is a bad look. It really is.
Yeah, you don't look good because, listen, the fans want to see this. It's the Old Timers Day is for the fans. It really is, and it's for the players too that enjoy getting together with guys that they haven't seen in years. And they have a great weekend. They talk to each other. I don't know. I just don't get. There's always a guy. There's always someone. There's always one guy. And this for the Yankees Old Timers Day, it's Jeter. So I don't know. Just listen. Just go and show up. Just show up, wave, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's a bad look, I think. I
totally agree. And it's a guy that I didn't think would be that way when he retired. I thought he would show up, because he was so beloved by the fans. He's one of the most beloved Yankees of all time now, and to not show up to this, I don't know. It doesn't look
Nah,
good.
I don't know. But you know what, Chris? I wanted to plug. We had last week, Monday, we had a great show with the Winnick Brothers Magicians. In fact, on the replays, it's one of our best shows on replays. A lot of people are checking out that show, and they were good. It was a lot of fun. They did tricks. I want to give their father. Their father is a pencil. He draws with pencils. He's a pencil artist, and he's great. If you guys get a chance to check out his website, he has a studio in Little Falls, New Jersey, where he has classes. In fact, we read he had like a 90-year-old student or something, Chris. So
Yeah.
it's amazing. But if you get a chance to visit his website, check out the sports section. He has some pencil drawings that he did of Judge and of Lindor that you can't believe it. It's the guy has so much talent, and I think we're gonna have him on the show to talk some baseball and to show us what he could do. Because Chris, you looked at the website. How amazing! Look at that. How amazing is this guy's drawing?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I mean, I saw the drawing of Lindor and Jeter. I mean, it's just amazing. So if you guys want to check out, a friend of the show, go to Pencilwork Studios website and check it out. You'll be amazed with some of the sports.
Absolutely.
That he drew. Yeah. So I just wanted to give them a plug. They were great, and people have been sending me messages that they had a lot of fun watching them. So if you guys haven't checked out last Monday's episode, you could go to YouTube, check it out. It was really fun, and you'll get to see some pretty cool tricks too.
Yeah, but definitely check out this site. It's pencilworksartstudio.com. And if you're in the Jersey area where the studio is located, go check it out. Take a class if you want. It looks like a really cool thing to do. I'm good at coloring. I'm not really a good drawer, so I'm not the best person to do something like this, but I would love to learn how to draw. My daughter's an amazing artist herself. I wish I had anything to do with that, but I didn't. But definitely I always wanted to learn how to draw. So I wish I was near this. I would definitely check it out.
So the pictures, yeah, definitely. But anyway, I want to go over our schedule really quick. We're gonna do a show Friday night. We're gonna do a post-game show again. We love the Friday night show after the games. A lot of people come on. It's a lot of fun. We're gonna set it up for 10 p.m. But just keep your eyes open for both the Mets and Yankee game.
Yeah, it might be later.
It might be later unless one of the teams is getting killed. A lot like what happened with the Mets a couple of weeks ago, and we just came on early. Well, it also was delayed. It was a mess. So we're gonna go on Friday night, not Friday afternoon.
Yep, definitely. This is a new member. He hasn't RVID. He hasn't been on the show, so that's cool to see a new.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think he was once, but thanks. Okay. Definitely, yeah. Here another week of MLB baseball. We definitely need some Philly losses. Hopefully, that's the Yankees.
Hey, we got them. We got them this weekend, so hopefully the Yankees can help out the Mets this weekend.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. You guys got to root for the Yankees this weekend because we do not want the Phillies to win. So the Yankees got to help us out.
Definitely.
But Chris, you got anything else?
No, I think that's it. Just listen, guys, if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and it will tell you when we're on, whenever we come on again. So definitely hit that subscribe button for us. So you could come and hang out with us like Jonathan has, RV. Joe, of course, always joins us, so definitely come and join. The more the
Oh, yeah,
merrier.
this is-
We want to see more people.
And this is Robin from Painting the Chat podcast. So I knew that
okay.
it was definitely familiar. All right, great. Thanks for coming on, Robin. We definitely appreciate it. And we checked out your show, love your show, and maybe we could collaborate
Yeah,
soon.
definitely, man.
That would be
great.
really cool if we could collaborate. But all right, that's all I have. Too, don't forget to check us out on the Pesky podcast Thursday night. We'll set up what time it is, and then Friday night ours will be on after the Mets and Yankee game. So we'll catch you then. Thanks. I want to thank everybody once again.
We'll see you guys soon.